All right, so here we are, summer, the end of June, 4th of July coming up. And what's a great way to capitalize on the 4th of July for a business deduction? Can you get a sponsorship in your local parade? Or better yet, how about having your employees and your team out to your beach house or to your regular home, sponsor a barbecue, have them come over, they bring families, friends, spouses, and the like, do a presentation, do a team building session, have a getaway weekend. Get out there, do some activities, some outdoor activities. Utilize that as an opportunity for your small business. Now, here's the thing. It has to have a business purpose first and foremost. Most of the time, if you have employees there, team members, you're going to have a great opportunity for a business deduction. But to even go further, you could have an event where you also invite some of your customers or all of your customers. Maybe you even celebrate not only with food and beverages, but maybe you celebrate with some games that you guys play. Maybe you have some presentations about new products coming up, new services for your organization. Maybe you show up with some vehicles, motorcycles, cars, etc. I could think of many different examples of what you could be doing this weekend. And with the 4th of July coming and having that as a business deduction, similar to what we did in our newsletters and some of the other events where we talked about how to capitalize on your summer vacation, building them around perhaps conferences in your field or in your industry, or even having a cruise or something to that effect. Are you able to deduct these items as a business? Well, first and foremost, it has to have a business expense. It has to have a business purpose. What is the purpose of this event? If it's team building, that's wonderful. Maybe you'll do a 6-month presentation on how the company's performing. Maybe you'll look at the second half of the year, how you want to increase sales. If it's for your customers, maybe you'll roll out a new product line or remind them about your current products and services and what you do. All of these provide opportunities for the business itself to promote itself first and foremost. What would you do? You'd send out invites. You could stream, you could record the event and use that in your social media later on. Wouldn't that be great? Maybe you have a bike decorating event. Maybe you have a car decorating event for your clients and for your employees. You can have them out at your pool. You can have them out at your beach house. You can have them out at your mountain retreat. You could rent a space. You can bring in guests to perhaps provide services. Maybe you'll have a DJ for some dancing. Maybe you'll have music. You'll have live music and you'll have that kind of entertainment. Again, those events, as long as they're primarily for the employees, and even if you're doing a show and tell for your customers, are opportunities. Now, here's what you're not going to deduct. You're not going to deduct your 4th of July golf outing. You're not going to deduct your baseball tickets. If you bring your team, there may be an opportunity, but generally, as you know, even as we are in this mode of this week finalizing some of the details of extending the tax legislation, one of the things they did not extend or even include again is entertainment. Entertainment expenses off the table, but the food and beverage, the travel leading up to the event, even the facilities that you're involved in that you may rent for your team or have them out to your organization. If it's your beach house, we've talked about in the past, Augusta strategies. All of these are opportunities to capitalize on the 4th of July here in the US. So listen, you may be headed to offshore, you may be headed to Europe, you may be headed to another place in the world. That potentially as well. It doesn't have to be just local, but we're talking about some of the things you may do in your own backyard for your business. Landscaping company, do a show and tell for your clients. Swimming pool company, do a show for your clients. Have them come out to your properties and take a look at your pool. Take a look at your cabana. You have a vehicle deduction business where you can do detailing, auto detailing, have a parade. Have some of the vehicles that you've sponsored in the local parade show up that have been detailed, whether it's historic or vintage vehicles, whether it's a truck, whether it's the latest and greatest. Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of opportunities for small businesses to promote themselves, simultaneously reward their customers and the employees, and at the same time encapsulate that all into a business deduction. We could set up a time to talk about it. We could know and talk about what are the things you could be doing. But again, preparing results for the first half of the year as we are approaching here, the end of June, early July, and the 4th, as we talked about coming up, or even looking at the second half of the year to make this the best business year of your particular business's time. You may have started up a business. Great time to start up a business. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pass these extensions of these tax laws and we're going to solidify some lower tax rates. And with that, hopefully, as it had in the past, we talked about it in the last podcast, are we going to have an opportunity to see the economy grow? And therefore, that'll offset the deficit increase that's being projected by those who are the naysayers about the bill. So Here, only time will tell, right? Even in some of the political schemes, some of the people like Elon Musk are not happy. He's saying we're subsidizing historic or archaic or prehistoric businesses, in his case, I think is what he said. And we're not looking at the advanced businesses like solar and wind energy and giving them the subsidies by the government. Time will tell. Right. We'll see what's going on. But the reality is that in the past, historically, there's been opportunities where we're in a tax-friendly environment. Small businesses, which are the lifeblood of business, have grown. And since they've grown, it has helped offset the reduction in the revenues that have technically been given via these tax credits, these tax deductions and benefits. But the economy's grown. And in the past, historically, what has happened is there's evidence of this where the revenues coming into the government actually ended up in a better situation than had we not had that lower tax environment. So taxes, taxes, taxes. But at the same time, what can you do as a small business owner to capitalize on the summertime, to capitalize on the 4th of July, and how to encapsulate that into your business? I hope that makes a lot of sense. Make this the best summer of your business. Tony Bruce, CPA, more than just an accountant.